No, that's okay. The chat is jammed full. And the reason we're doing this special episode with Jamie is that Training Think Tank did a special age group online qualifier simulation weekend. So she could kind of practice what the schedule was like for this this weekend. Well, not this weekend, but the following weekend coming up for the Masters quarterfinals. So can you walk us through kind of what that was like, what the concept is, and like how many workouts it was, all of that?
Yep. I did this as well last year. They do a great job of like trying to get all their athletes ready. And so they did this for the individuals. So if you made it to they just released the final standings, right? But like if you were assuming you made it on to quarterfinals, you would have done the individual last weekend, 2 weekends ago, right? Basically the weekend after the open ended, right? So they all had their 5 workouts to simulate theirs. And last year I actually did that. I actually signed up for both individual and so I'd done that last year. This year I was like, okay, I'm not going to do the individuals. I'm going to focus on just doing the Masters quarterfinal simulation. So they released them Thursday at 3 p.m. just like it would. They released all 4. News to me, I guess I missed some like broadcast from HQ that there's only 4 workouts for Masters. I assumed it was 5. Did you know this? Did I miss something?
Not.
Yeah. So, cause I saw the workouts come out and I'm like, and I messaged on the page or whatever, messaged Brandon and I'm like, is there a reason we only have 4? Like, and he's like, that's what it says on the thing. I was like, I totally must have missed that. So I mean, thank goodness for them getting us prepared and getting us like a heads up on that. That sort of disappoints me, that individuals get 5 and we get 4. Maybe they have like a 2-parter for us, maybe still 5 scores. So whatever, but yay for me. That means a lift probably, right? But so yeah, they sort of kind of left it for free for all for this one. They just said, here's the 4 workouts. We're going to leave the submission open through today. So I think just a few more scores came in today. So a little more leeway. They kind of just wanted us to, not stress about it like the same way you would. I think admittedly, like it was slightly less challenging. I don't know if we can go into that. I don't know if I fully agree. I mean, sort of, but like I'm really ridiculously sore. So it got the intended stimulus. But yeah, so I mean, we had the 4 workouts that they wrote. They try to think about what equipment what equipment still is left and what movements they likely will see.
So one, everybody is saying holy shoulders, things like that throughout the chat. People are agreeing with that. And you do have a pump on, that's for sure. So whatever they gave you definitely got your shoulders working.
Yeah, I would say it was still shoulder intensive.
Did they say anything about the scheduling of the release of the workouts and like how much time you would have? Because if it's only 4, are you getting 2 and 2 or 2, 1, 1?
Yeah, it looks like 2 and 2. Which I just saw. So following up on this, I was trying to like do some more looking into individuals, and it looks like that. I could have sworn I read that it was like 2 workouts are going to be released on Thursday, and you have to get those 2 submitted by Friday, and then you'll get the 2, and those 2 will be due on Saturday, and then you'll get the 1, and that one will be due on Sunday. It's sounding like you're still going to get all 5 workouts on Thursday. I know. I don't know. You're going to have to do some research into this too. I want to say either like barbell spin or somebody put it out. I need to do some more.
I'll do some research for sure.
Yeah. So it sounds like they assume we're essentially going to be done at Saturday at 3. Unless like I think the submission windows show Friday and Saturday. So unless there's like one submission window on Saturday and one on, like, maybe they're going to try to do 2, 1, 1, but it still sounds like all 4 workouts are coming out on Thursday, which is weird.
I and I'm sorry, I'm like speechless, but it just doesn't
I,
make sense to me why you would you have the same format of quarterfinals to semifinals to games. Why would you change the template or and make it even more confusing between age group and individual?
right. I mean, yeah, right. Like, arguably ours is like even more important because we have to do an online semifinal. So like it should be why are we only getting 4 tests when individuals are getting 5? I mean, I should have messaged you early about this so we could have both like looked more into this to because I do want to be certain on that it's only 4 for us, but that's the information I got when I asked Training Think Tank, and it sounds like it's 4. It shows 4 submission slots.
Okay. So what's crazy is you could have texted me early. I I don't sleep much during the week. And because of this whole sinus thing, so I
Yeah.
took a Benadryl last night before bed. I slept for 11 hours and we
Woo!
lost an hour last night.
Yeah.
So I feel like I lost a day. Like I felt like I like the old man who fell asleep in the woods and woke up and his life was over. Like it's just mind blowing to me. But anyway, I will definitely dig into this as soon as we're off the air.
Yeah. 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 I think that's important for you and I to know if, you know.
Yeah, because I'm coming to see you, and if I want to make sure I'm there on the right days.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
So okay, so you're doing this simulation, and how important do you think that is for your game to kind of have a dry run through?
So, like we've talked about, I have like Jim in the gym with me. And Veronica was in there. And so I think so we had our class Saturday morning, and I kind of talked to some of the members about shutting down Friday night and like the importance of these some quarterfinals for us. And a few of them came back and watched us do these 2 workouts that we did on Saturday, and I kind of expressed like, I could use some help with make sure your gym set up. So it's not like when I'm trying to get warmed up, it's hard for me to focus on him and get him set up. So I think I got that point across to some of the members to help with, which hopefully will like ease some of my stress in that regard. And I really focused on like I was trying to get him to like get the tripod out, get the camera ready, get his WOD proof app up, so that like some of these like less like I'm so used to it, second nature to me, that I don't like have to think through these things, but I'm like you'll need to start thinking like an athlete. Like you got to get yourself ready, and I want you to just be able to walk in here and get yourself ready and understand what's happening. So I think I used it as a weekend of like I was like, this is what's going to happen. Like, what are you going to do if I'm busy with Scott or we're doing something? Like you can't always rely on me. Ronica's going to be gone that weekend. She's going to be in Mexico, so I felt like it was almost more of a run through for Jim. Just as much for me, it's just like let's get uncomfortable again. It's been a couple weeks off, and kind of push a little bit harder. So yeah, I felt like it was good practice for video.
Well, and we talked about this early on. Like you can get through the open and still be very giving to your gym.
Yeah.
When we get to quarters, all of a sudden it's time for Jamie to get a little selfish,
Right.
because this is important to you. And did this run through help your mindset get to now it's got to be more about me?
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to like really stress that when I was in there, like, and I feel I feel like I'm snapping, or I feel selfish. I don't like to have to be mean or things like that, but it's just like, I want you to succeed without, I want you to be able to succeed without relying on me, for one. So yeah, I feel like that was a little bit more comforting to me, with some of the members staying and hearing me and saying they would do whatever I ask of them. So that was really, really nice of some of them.
Oh yeah. So, okay. So what did Training Think Tank have in store for you? I have the first workout pulled up. I can
Okay.
share the screen.
Okay. I think that's the one that has me like extremely sore. So, so workout
So
one
if you,
was
so basically you're saying if you want shoulders like Jamie, this is the workout you should do.
maybe it was a compound oh no, wait, do I have it backwards? No, this is one. Okay. Yeah. Yes, this and number two back to back, I feel like is what got me. But so this is the one, it was essentially a buy-in portion, 12-minute AMRAP. You had a row, 50 or 40 kills, farmer carry, 53s for ladies. I know this is part of the problem with our gym, right? Like I almost think the rower should have been back here. We'll have to do this different if there's something like this. Farmer carry 300 feet, so 12 lengths, back on the rower for 40 or 32 kills, and then another 200 feet of farmers carry. So it's double 53s for ladies, double 70s for men. Jim got to also use 53s for the 55 plus. So his workout was pretty similar to us on this workout. So you did that, row, farmer, and in your remaining time, it was max rope climb.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to, what minute mark would you be into the, I think I see you. I saw you go with the farmer carry. There you go.
Yep. So I rode the first 40 kills in 205. I started hot, like 1700. No, I was like, yeah, let's just full send it. I backed it down pretty quickly, but I was pretty fast on the first 40. I did one little break on my farmer's carry for both of the two sets just to try to release that tension in my hands a little bit. Back on, I think I'm like 150 or 155 for this 32 kills. And then farmer carry, and then I get off the farmer's carry at 610, I believe. So I end up finishing up these last few. So when I calculated this one in my head, I thought we'd have like 4, maybe 5 minutes to rope climb. And when I finished at 610, I was like, oh Lord, that's going to be a lot of rope climbs.
So on these farmers carries, how, like, I can see your shoulders coming forward. Were you getting pretty toasty on that?
Yes, it was worse than expected. I know in semis last year, we had the farmer carry legless rope climb. And I remember like a little bit of grip fatigue, obviously with the legless, but this was gross going from the rope. I was trying really hard to like loosen my grip or like pull with almost like my fingers on the row, but I don't know. I was smoked. My grip was shot, and I was like, oh no, I don't even. But luckily, it's legged rope climb, so get to put your feet in and stand. And I love rope climbs. I mean, I don't know if you watched the video of Legends with the rope climbs, and Annie talked about me. I feel like I would say because in semis, quarters or semis last year, I was one of like my top 5 in the world workouts. I feel like I'm pretty good at rope climbs. Full disclosure, our gym height is 14 feet 6 inches. So I like try to reach like there's a couple in here where I'm like have to do an extra step. So I almost always, when I'm at a comp or when I go when I actually do quarterfinals, we'll go to another gym. I almost always 2-pull every rope climb. There are times in here that because of the way that rope is attached to that beam, and then I got to reach another 18 inches. It's super awkward where I reach. So, I mean, I would say it's good that they're not as like, I'm almost training. I know it's short. I say it's shorter, but it's almost worse because I always feel like whenever I go anywhere, I'm like, those rope climbs were so easy. And I feel like I can slide down better from the other ropes. So yeah, I got 17.
You really get up there with 2 pulls.
Yeah.
Like, consistently.
Yep. Dang. Yep. I think I did all 2 at Legends in that workout that went from Gran Torino. Yeah, I like Annie talked about it on the broadcast. She was like, that's how you do a rope climb. Like I lean way back and get my feet up by my face. And yeah, I mean, it sucks, Corey, but I feel like you do things like it's like sometimes I'll do from seated to the beam, like things like that, just to get the actual height. But like, I figure if I'm training myself more difficult than it's going to be, it's going to be a win when I get anywhere else. So
yeah. So you finished that one, and then you said 2 right after it was.
So I actually did that one last. Out of all the, yep, I did them in backwards order.
You did one last.
I did number 1 last. Yep. So all those rope climbs.
Talk about this stuff ahead of time, Jamie.
Yeah, sorry.
So we look like a professional outfit.
Yep, I went 4, 3, 2, 1 is what I did.
Okay. So, all right, we'll go backwards too. So we had this planned all along that we're just going to do these backwards. Yeah. And then Jeffrey says, train like you play or harder.
Absolutely. Yep, that's my philosophy.
And Corey said, to compensate, we don't jump into the rope.
Yeah.
From standing.
So Corey, I did that for like an entire year last year. I would never jump. And I noticed that hurt me in the individual quarterfinals last year. That one with like the wall ball, shuttle, rope climb. Because I had trained so regularly to not jump into my rope climbs, or either seat and pull. When I went to the other gym, I did that thinking, well, this is how you do your rope climbs now. Just like step up there and go. And I was not happy with that workout at all. Like I should have done way better in that workout than I did. So I've gone back to jumping into them and just, like I said, like I know that I'm not worried about my rope climb capacity.
And then he says, I'm here for the professionalism of this show.
We're professionals.
I'm glad that people are not here for the professionalism. All right. So we are going to share the next to last workout you did.
Okay.
And I have it right here. And you're glancing back like a death stare. That with the shoulders, I would be quivering in my shoes.
Yeah, so this was, I feel like they pulled it from last year's age group quarterfinal workout, the one that was like 50 overhead squats, 40 bar face, or then you did like 30 bar facing burpees, 40 lunge steps, 30 bar facing burpees, 30 pistols into the 20 rope climb. I feel like that was their intention with this one. I felt like this was significantly easier. I enjoyed this workout a lot. I never felt like, well, I do miss my last bar muscle up at the end, but I was just kind of was like going full send there at the end, but never felt out of control in this workout. I really enjoyed this one. So this was 50 overhead squats, 40 GHDs, 10 bar muscle ups, and then you come back to the barbell and you do 40 lunge steps. Little bit different than I took shorter strides for that so that I could get 10 in my camera frame, 10 steps, and just go back and forth 4 times. I also feel like this got me in individual quarterfinals last year with they also had the steps, like you had the double dumbbells, lunge steps, and overhead with the handstand push-up. When I did that one last year, I did it here at the gym, and I had a class going on behind me. You couldn't see all of me on the turf. So I had to like shorten my steps so much that, especially in the overhead, I felt like I wasn't like under the weight properly. And I did not like the way that felt. I was like, we need to figure out a different floor space for this so I can figure out my lunge steps. We have the camera back a lot further.
So let me ask you this, as a gym owner, with the open and quarterfinals and gym layouts and the workouts that have been prescribed already this season, do you think that CrossFit is thinking enough about the layouts of different gyms?
No, not at all. I there's got to be some affiliates with like bigger numbers that like still do a good job of running like good class sizes because I actually have a decent sized gym. This is we have like 3,000 square feet. It's not the best space necessarily, but there's got to be gyms that have more members than me in like 2,000, 2,500 square foot space. And I can't imagine doing like stuff like that shuttle run 0.2. I do. It
Yeah.
frustrates me when it comes down to workouts for like quarters and semis particularly that I just feel like you've got to do a better job of like thinking through all possible scenarios, right? And like I just don't think I don't know. That's just one of my gripes.
Did TTT give you a layout for these?
They gave us one layout only. They said no. They said set up however you want. I tried to keep it how I expected, like almost like floor. Like I tried to never be within 8 feet of something. So I sort of just like set it up the way I assumed it would be set up. They didn't release floor plans, no.
So essentially same thing. Train it harder than it might be so that if it's easier, it's actually a benefit for you.
Right. Yep, that's an argument I have with Jim a lot. Jim is almost always, this isn't Jim going over there, it's one of our other members, but Jim usually is over behind that weight stack, kind of in the probably about where he is right now. And there's Jim judging. He likes to, every time we work out, he likes to like pull everything into this little 6 foot bubble. And I'm like, stop. Like you don't get to do that. Like, so I'm trying to get that through his head too. Like figure out like if you're going to break, use that like 8 or 10 foot walk to breathe and then move again. So I'm really working on him to stop like keeping things like and there's a time and place for like super small and quick transitions because everything's right there. But yeah, I try to make things more difficult on myself.
So what are the pressures? So Jim's been to the games, right?
Yep.
And you were his coach at the games.
Yes.
You're trying to get to the games.
Yeah.
What is that tug of war like?
It's hard. Like do you just put yourself on the back burner and try to like keep getting him there while he can? It's so tough because like I feel like next year is my year turning 40. Like I feel like you have to take advantage of that time, and it's hard because I feel like this might be like how long is he going to stay competitive? Because he's going to start to get, unless they add a 70 bracket, he's going to be at the top end. So I do want to like make this year as successful as possible for him. And if that means like a little less for me, then so be it. But I will be very selfish next year.
Okay. While we're kind of watching you do these lunges, gosh, that looks awful. I want to talk about the headspace from when we talked last week.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm not pushing too hard about your mindset because I just think you're awesome, right? And I know that you have this switch when you're on the floor, like right before this workout, like you're jumping, you're ready, like you're going to kick ass in this workout. Right? So
Yeah.
it's not that you have this, it's not like you have that attitude all the time. There's just a couple holes in your game that are there. And when they come, it makes you anxious.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Self-doubt creeps in. Yeah.
And so I hope I'm not portraying you as this person who has a bad mindset because one, I've heard you say things that you have some confidence in things that you can do. Mm-hmm. And you're a badass athlete and you're a badass athlete. You wouldn't win competitions like you have won if you weren't. It's just some holes in the game that you need to kind of get your mindset over and believe in yourself a little more in just those few areas to get you from just at the cusp to like championship level.
Yeah. It's like, like we talked about a little last week, like more experience and more time in those scenarios, like more little wins, right? Day by day, little wins, like will build up and like you're right. There's like certain workouts where I'm like, that's my jam. And I go in there super duper confident and I usually get first or second. Like I'm usually right where I expect. Like I knew this was going to be a great workout for me. I love bar muscle ups. I took first in this workout in TTT. I would have taken second in the men's bracket. And I always look, so going back to that mindset, I'm slightly frustrated that more women didn't sign up for this in TTT because it makes it really hard to, and it shouldn't always be a comparison thing, but like when we get to this level, it is like, I have to like I have to see where I stand. And so just because I can win in the gym means absolutely nothing. I like, I've got to, and that's, I told you this before, like, it's why I get frustrated with like the semifinals process and like every single video not being public. Like, I can't figure out what I need to do differently or like compare and judge myself and figure out where I messed up, figure out what other people are doing and like fix things in my game. I mean, we both know I need to fix the strength portion, but there's times like there's workouts last year that I should have in semifinals that I should have been top 10 in the world and I was like 25th and it makes no sense. Like, I mean, I don't typically lose at wall ball workouts. I got third at the Legends comp, and that workout I think is pretty typical of a work like where I would place in a wall ball workout. So to be like second to last didn't make any sense. I would like to see what those other like what happened. So that kind of stuff frustrates me because if I can't find those wins and I'm constantly questioning what I'm doing wrong, it makes it hard to build that confidence up. I mean, it's great that I like when I go to these comps and do have the in-person success, but that's one or two times a year. And then I have to like rely on those performances to like get me through the year. So I was really excited for the TTT simulation because I was like, okay, we'll see where I'm at. And there's only like 24 girls that signed up and only like 16 scores got put in. So it's like, well, shoot, I don't know. I mean, did I do okay?
Yeah. And then when you're the one at number one for most of those,
Yeah.
you're not learning.
Right.
Right. I get it. And I think it's something that, gosh, it's just, I feel like the age groups gets cheated so bad in this season because they don't get the opportunities for this. And it's not like you came from the individual world where you had this wealth of experience coming in. You're trying to find it now.
Right.
And it's hard to find that. So about your bar muscle ups, Corey has another comment. I love that slight pause at the top of her bar muscle up. When I remember to do that, I can cycle so many more.
Yeah, I also just want to make sure like I show that like dip extension at the top, right? There are times when I when I'm fresh and I do bar muscle ups fast, I know I can ride that line of like almost not even showing a dip and like not even being like just being straight up there and popping right back down. So it's probably a good thing to be a little fatigued and do these. Oh, so this is the end of the workout. Yep. So I missed that last one. But yeah, so I end up, oh, hey, Trish. I go into the men's leaderboard typically and things like this. And Julian Cerna is one of the guys that he's been at the games in the 35, 39. So I try to like look at his scores a lot. He posts regularly, daily. It's helpful for me to look at like a games athlete and see where they're at. And I think we were like super duper close in this workout. So that made me super happy. So yeah, I like to go back and look at his scores. I think we tied in the rope climb one. You're
Doggone it. It's a real podcast now.
You haven't done that in a while.
I know. So let me ask you this question before we get into other workouts.
Okay.
And that is, so I have this thought, right? That one thing that Wadapalooza does great to get people into the venue is it's a community event with a lot of people there to compete in all the different levels, adaptive, teens, masters, right? There are people in this country and probably the world that run age group events. You have the Pit in Michigan that runs a teen competition.
Yep.
You have Legends, you have MFC who run masters competitions. You have both locations of semifinals in very warm locations this year. Why couldn't you set up a competition site in the parking lot of that big arena and run the age group semifinals that weekend as well? Right? Get a break from being inside in this beautiful weather, go outside, support some masters and age groups, put the vendor village outside, and attract people to that to help grow that level of the sport.
And it's only getting bigger. You've got like all the names getting into the 35 bracket. Like if they start showing up and it's crazy to me that they are not having 20 in the 35 to 39 at the games. Like that's another thing that's just
why. And I know some of the organizers of those events, they would kill to run a semifinal event for those age groups.
Yeah. I know.
Just contract it out, let them do their thing and run the full semifinal for them outdoors of the main arena. And that way people have options to go check out everything. And you get your in-person semifinal.
Right. Which is needed. We need the judges. We need head-to-head competition other than 10 at the games. Like a field of 10 doesn't even give you the same spread on workouts, right? Like it's just crazy. You just got to keep advocating.
Yeah. Well, and Jethro says, a friend mentioned that. If you go back to my rant from Wadapalooza, this is one of my things I said months ago that they needed to do. I've talked to Stephanie Price because her teen podcast channel is under our umbrella. She runs the Pit Fitness Teen Ranch thing up there. She would kill to do this.
Yeah.
Logistically, it can be done.
I know.
I know. It just makes sense because last year at Granite Games, they ran a community event during the semifinal.
I was there. I went.
Right. I didn't know that. I didn't know you then. It would have been cool.
Yeah, I went on a girls team of 3 just for the fun of it.
Yeah, but a lot of the people I'd met at Masters Fitness Collective were there.
Yeah.
And they did it outside the main venue.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Yeah. And Corey says that Masters Fitness Collective or Legends should be the official Masters World Championship. There's that too, but I love it at the games. It's still something special at the games. And I love that it's separated this year. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is age group. And then Wednesday starts individual, or Thursday starts individual. So you just have a tiny bit of crossover and everybody gets their time in the sun.
Yeah, I agree. I like that too.
Well, and not to mention the biggest name in the sport could potentially be there this year in the Masters division.
He says he's not going.
He said probably.
Yeah.
He flipped the world in the team division where that gets a lot of fans now, and he could do the same for Masters.
I agree.
And Jethro said, like Jamie said, 10 to 20 at the games would have name recognition, recognized athletes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. For all the way through, like I'd say 45 to 49. right? And then I understand like you kind of got to go to buy. I don't understand why they go by these registrations and whatnot. Like, I mean, the 35 to 39 has like 25,000 registrations. Like, it's probably more than some of the. Well, I don't know. I'd have to look at numbers, but it's just crazy to me. If you're gonna do a percentage, figure it out.
Yeah. The largest registration numbers in the Open are the Masters division.
Yeah.
I mean, it's over 50%.
Right.
Right.
And a
It's
huge chunk of that is on the younger end.
It's getting to translate that into viewers' eyes to watch them.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And that's what so there's a lot of questions here. Corey says, what I'm saying is if the games is only going to do 10 per age group, then it should be somewhere else. 10 is too small of a field. I do agree with that.
I agree with that too.
Trish has a question. On the Sevon podcast, Rich mentioned a therapeutic use exemption for testosterone. Is that accurate?
I have no clue, Trish. I am the wrong person to ask about that stuff. We'll have to ask on Sevon's podcast.
I do remember that kind of coming up on Sevon, but I don't remember exactly what the answer was to that, or if it is. I think they were talking about it in a theoretical.
Yeah, I thought that I have heard that wasn't. I wish Hiller would talk about that a little bit more. I thought I had heard that was not one of the. I mean, I know you can get TEUs for things, but I thought TRT was not one of the things you could get it for. But I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't know. Jean Clark, is it? John Clark says someone in the chat that day pulled up the rules and posted some in the chat, and you can't, but God knows what they actually do, as we know they don't follow the rule book that is published.
Right.
Which, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I'd be very curious about that too.
Yeah. All right. So I've already kept you really long. So let's get to the last two workouts.
Yeah.
I am going to share number 3, which was actually number 3.
2. No, it was number 2 for me.
Number 2. Okay, number 3 is number 2. There we go.
This is the strength workout.
The first 2 bars.
And we know how much you love strength. Right. What lift were you doing?
So this is clean and jerks. I will say if there's gonna be a strength event, ideally it would be something like this. I got 4th in this in TTT's leaderboard, and I think I could have probably got one more rep. But so you had to do 10 clean and jerks at 135 or 95. So this is the 95 bar, and then you have a forced 1-minute rest. So I think I do like 5, 4, 1 or something here just to try to keep my heart rate kind of low. And then it jumps to 185, 125. So I'll be moving up to the red bar after my minute break. Yeah, so now I'm on my minute break.
And you're sporting the Hiller shirt.
Yes. Well, we know I've told you that. I try to move very well. I pride myself on getting like no reps at comps. I do think it's to my detriment, especially in these online formats. That's why I'd like to be able to see other videos.
So let me ask you this: when you're doing an online comp, are you more careful to hit every extension, because you know it's going to be video judged, as opposed to a live judge where you get instant feedback?
I don't know. I mean, I think I just move the same in both ways. So,
okay. I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt there, Jamie.
But yeah, I would say especially for my ring muscle ups, um, I think that is one of the things I probably over accentuate online that holds me back.
And so I also notice you're wearing nanos, no lifters because you're not squatting.
Yeah, you'll rarely find me squatting. I mean, that's just like not. I wouldn't say I mean, I have pretty good squat endurance. But my 1 rep out of a squat is not great. So if I have to squat clean, it's less likely that I'm going to hit the jerk. It just takes literally everything out of me. So yeah,
Literally, I need to cut my legs off and give them to you, and you'd be a monster.
Yeah, I Mike McGoldrick posted like his score, and he had like ridiculous number of reps here. Like, so it goes from the 125 to 145 for ladies, and then 165 is the final bar. So I don't know what that would have been for men. 245, I don't know. But he had a ridiculous number of reps at that final bar, and I like commented, I was like, I wish I could move the barbell half as fast as you. And he nicely responded, I wish I could like pull and breathe as well as you do. So
yeah. Yeah, my one trick is back squatting, front squatting. Yeah.
yeah, I need to spend more
Before I
time
hurt my
at it.
back, I was that close to 500.
Oh my gosh. Yep, this is the 145 bar. I felt like it moved. I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, do the minute rest between each. When you get to the final bar, you just do as many as you can. I get 9 reps. I think I definitely should have gotten 10. I don't know. I was just being a wuss there at the end. So I'd already done the one you're going to show next. So workout 1, I had done workout 4. Yeah, workout 4 I had done first, and this was, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes later. I had said going into this, I was like, I am not feeling great going into this. Like my heart rate was still like, I mean, before we started, my heart rate was at like 118. I was like, this is not good. I can't get my heart rate down. Like I'm going to be sky high 1 minute into this workout, which isn't good for me.
Is it okay though that you did it under that stress for a run through?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I feel like I'm happy with these lifts for having done. I honestly, I prefer to like hit a strength workout after a Metcon. It's probably something I need to get away from. I probably need to learn how to just lift heavy, like walk into the gym, just lift heavy. It shouldn't take me a full workout to get warmed up, but that's just kind of the way I am. But yeah, I mean, the fact that I was like somewhat
these look
pre-fatigued.
so good.
Yep, I'm for 165, which my PR is 185. I'm happy with it. The first like 3 or 4, I was like, okay, we're doing all right. And then like I said, I get kind of wussy here at the end. This is a 9-minute AMRAP, so I've got 2 more minutes to lift.
All right, we'll fast forward a little bit. Last minute. And Wad Zombie jumps in with Jamie is a mega babe.
Aww. Thank you. Start to getting that crash down on me. I don't like it, I'm like, oh, this is hard.
It looks like your jerk is shortening. The spread on your legs.
Yeah.
So
that's something I've been working on, because that is what I end up usually resorting to, is like this tiny little, not even a split.
Yeah.
I've got to fix it. I know, like it's ridiculous. Either figure it out. What are you doing? Push jerk it or split it. Let's go.
Because the early ones looked great.
Yeah.
And it just, yeah.
See if I redeem
It's a
myself.
fickle sport, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, my technique goes out the window when I get fatigued.
All right. So then you actually, I'm going to stop sharing this one, and we'll
Okay.
go through the last workout. And that is actually the first workout
Yep.
because Jamie does everything backwards. No.
Not usually. I meant to do them in order, but it just played out better this way.
So this one looks like some kettlebells, a box.
Yep. So we got a buy-in here again, 30 kettlebell thrusters. This is an 11-minute AMRAP. I know that was the one part I was not looking forward to. So I break these up. So 30 thrusters, buy-in, and then in the remaining time, you're doing 14 kettlebell deadlifts, 11 chest to bar pull-ups, 8 box jump over, step down required, like it was for the open.
So at the completion of this simulation, did you feel like you have more confidence going into quarters? Or is it are we back to the I don't know because I'm not seeing my comparison?
Yeah, I mean, no, I feel like I'm in a pretty good headspace. Like when I finished yesterday, I was like, well, I feel like those were too easy. I don't think this is a great test of what we're going to see. But if they're anything like this, I mean, I would be pretty thrilled and fairly confident going in. I mean, always the strength piece is going to hurt me a little bit. Like there's people who did like 50. So I got 39 reps. Yeah, I make everything except the lifts look easy. I got 39 reps on that barbell workout, and I think there was like 49 or 50, maybe more. Some people just an insane. I don't even know how you'd move that fast. That's out of the realm, and that's whatever. That's always going to happen, and I need bigger wins on workouts like this. So hopefully it's a well-programmed quarterfinals. I was really happy. I've been kind of disappointed with the lack of chest to bars. So I feel like the last real chest to bar workout that I have gotten to do was at Legends in California last year. And it didn't go well. And I've spent the last year like really, really working hard on my chest to bar endurance. And all I've been wanting is a test of chest to bars to see where I stack up. And I was really hoping we would get it in the open, and we didn't. I was really hoping we'd get it at Legends. We didn't. So I have kind of no clue. I thought I did pretty good at this workout, and I got second. But
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I think I went unbroken on my chest to bar for 5 rounds. So I did 5 sets of 11 in this like constant movement pattern.
So let me ask you this: you have a person doing the chest to bar across from you.
Yeah.
If you were doing quarterfinals, would that affect your score? Is that something that you need to be more selfish about, or
Yes.
do you don't even notice it?
No, I would need to be more selfish about that. Yep.
Yeah. Seems to be a theme tonight.
It's okay. It's fine in a setting like this. I don't mind making it like a little more awkward, or my kip off, or I jump up at a like that's fine. It'll like if things are harder on me in this situation, it can only get better, right?
So for quarters, are you going to put your foot down and be like, hey, this is my time? Or
That's the plan. I think we'll go. So it should only be so Terry judging me, the one in the gray tights there. She qualified in the 40 to 44, and then Jim and then Ronica. But Ronica will be gone that weekend, so it'll just be Terry, myself, and Jim are the only three people that need to go.
and I'm
So
coming in to be your bouncer.
yeah, so I think we're gonna go back to back to back. Whether that's me first or me last, I haven't decided. I typically end up going last in each workout, but if I'm judging or helping measure and tape and set up, that doesn't always go great for me because, like this workout, I helped get them set up and then I didn't warm up for this. I think I did like 2 thrusters and 4 of these deadlifts and like 3 pull-ups and then went. So that kind of stuff.
And still look this good.
Thanks. The other thing I don't think I did a good job of, and I think why I'm so sore, like I basically finished those 17 rope climbs yesterday and cleaned up and walked out of the gym and came home and sat and did 7 hours of programming on the computer. And I think I think that's why my like bicep is just like I'm so sore today. I got to do a better job of cooling down and stretching after these workouts, like each one, so that I'm not, because like at Legends, I did a great job of cooling down and wasn't even like, I felt great that weekend. Like I was surprised how not sore I was. I was pretty sore in my quads after Gran Torino, but that was what, the 3rd day. I was surprisingly not wrecked, but I had like the Normatec boots and my gun and all that stuff. I didn't do any of that this weekend. I should have done a better job of that stuff this weekend to like get used to that process too. Cause yeah, I'm super sore. I did look at tomorrow's programming and they have a deload day because of this. I was like, oh, thank God. Because I don't even think I could do a pull-up tomorrow.
So I think what you're saying is when you're away at like Legends and MFC, like you can unplug from your role as gym owner and mom and wife, and you get to be selfish, and it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
When you're still in your own gym, you still have all the pressures of all those roles.
Yeah, that's very true.
And trying to be an athlete on top of it.
Yep. That makes sense.
So, well, when I come up there, anything I can do to help and alleviate your burden, I can judge, I can do stuff like that. I'll even take the judges course. So I'm a certified judge.
Oh,
I have my
probably
L1. So I've taken it every year until this year.
It was kind of a tricky year. Some of those questions.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I think we got the picture on that one. Successful weekend, successful run through. You kind of see not only where you're at, but you get to see like what you're going to have to deal with during quarters.
Yeah.
As a gym owner, as a coach, and all of that kind of stuff. Is it allowing you to kind of sit down and prepare for that weekend? Or are you not looking forward to parts of that weekend because of it all?
It stresses me out knowing I need to travel for the rope climb and like not knowing which workout that is, right? Like, is that going to be the one I need to do? Like, should I do that Thursday night? Do I need to do it Friday morning? I mean, being on someone else's schedule is never great. If there's this 24-hour time submission window, like that sort of stresses me out. I feel like that's what is stressing me out the most. Like just not being able to like, cause like if I just knew that I could do everything in my gym, I'd be totally fine. Like, this is the shutdown schedule. This is when the gym is free. Like, you can come watch between these 4 hours we're going to be there. And I would just have it blocked off. But like, I warned them, I was like, I'm going to shut down Friday night. But like, what if Friday night is when I need to be over at shift? And then it was kind of pointless. It's like, it's just frustrating.
Yeah.
They're like, well, it is what, but I mean, Ronica's not there. I'm not there. I don't even know who would coach. So it needs to shut down regardless, even whether I'm doing it there or somewhere else. So I need to stop stressing about that. And it's just the way it is. That Friday night just isn't going to have classes. And the three of us will be working out somewhere. So yeah, I need to start getting in that mind frame.
So we had a handful of comments way back that everybody was saying, you seem to be in a much better mindset this week than you were last week. And I think everybody's happy to see that, because you have a ton of fans and you have a ton of people in your corner and a ton of people rooting for you. And I'm so glad that we get a chance to get to know each other better through this whole process, and get to see what amazing things you can do.
Yeah, I would agree. I had a fun weekend. It was good. It was a good learning experience for everyone. I enjoyed it. I think the workouts went well, so I'm happy.
Yeah. Well, we will not see you next week.
No.
We will be focused on the individual quarterfinals
Yep.
for a couple days and reporting on those athletes. And then the following weekend, it's all about Jamie.
2.
I will be.
Doesn't it goes, so that's the 17th, 18th, and then there's the 24th, 25th, and then it's the following weekend. The 31st.
Really?
Yeah, uh-huh. Yep, I've got 2.5 weeks of training.
Professional I am. Shoot. Okay. Well,
you didn't book a hotel
for you. I haven't booked the hotel yet.
Okay, good.
That's okay. Yeah, I need to look. Gosh, the new website, I'll be honest with you. The new CrossFit website, I'm such a creature of habit. It hadn't changed in the time I started in 2000. My first open was 2013. That website never changed. And then they change it, and now I can't find anything.
I agree. I've had frustrations with it as well.
So, yeah. So maybe my Benadryl hangover is over now. I'll go check everything and get it on the calendar properly so that I am in Lansing on the right weekend.
Okay.
And it's all going to be about you, because Amy's going to be covering Rudy here in town, and you'll be the only other Masters athlete, and I'm covering you as a documentary style. So I can't wait, because it's going to be fun. We're going to put together something pretty cool.
I can't wait to.
All right. Well, with that, we will let everybody go. Have a great week, everybody. Get in the gym, get some fitness in, and we will see you next time on the Clydesdale Media Presents the athletes of the 2023 CrossFit Games season.